goodly uplander has thanks of Gobbyflock. Flighty beast was tricksy foe, but uplander outwitted with plans making. Uplander has goodly head for fighty think. Brayflock's happy gives tasty fresh gobby treats to clever uplander. Cheese is stinky sweet gobby treat, special make with secret gobby arts. No party complete without gobby gouda, Brayflock's every say. I gather you solved Brayflock's little problem? By the gods, that unholy stench. This is... definitely goblin cheese. Judging from the smell, this should be quite flavorful. How is it made? It's best you remain ignorant of such things. I still remember when I learned what kind of milk they use. Ugh. Bravo, Artem. Thanks to you, our guests shall be honored with a marvelous banquet. But what good is an exotic feast without an equally exquisite aperitif? Luckily, I know just the person to ask. Make your way to Wineport and seek out Shamani Lomani, another former member of the company. All you have to do is give him this order slip. He'll take care of the rest. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is merely a ploy to test your patience, I assure you I do actually need that wine. And while you're there, give Shamani Lomani my regards. Sweat, grime, and blood. Aye, you reek of blood. An adventurer, unless I am mistaken. What brings you to Wineport? An order? Let me guess. A request for the finest vintage I can muster. The paper smells of loam and perfume, Costa del Sol. And there's also the unmistakable odor of goblin cheese. Yes, Master Gageruju would not settle for anything less than the best. Durstwitz and his crew must be quite busy preparing an exotic feast, hence his decision to rely on an adventurer. Ah, but perhaps you are confused. This display of deduction was not intended to impress you. When one loses his vision, he is forced to compensate in other ways. But you've no interest in my affairs. You wish only to discuss the wine, I suspect. Life can be so delightfully unpredictable. I always had a passion for wine, but it wasn't until I was forced to retire that I could pursue it as more than a mere hobby. It wouldn't have been possible if not for the savings I amassed during my time as a mercenary, of course. Say what you will about the nature of that work, none can deny that it pays well. Ah, but you grow impatient, and Whiskat must have his wine. Herein lies the problem. Nothing in my possession is of sufficient quality for this occasion. The best vintages in town are hoarded by Bergelent, who owns and operates the largest winery in Vilbrand. Somehow I doubt he will be receptive to your request, but given these circumstances, we must needs beg his assistance. What rank amateur bottled this wine? The impurities have rendered it nigh undrinkable. Dismissal is too good for the man responsible. He should be made to drink every drop of his polluted swill. What is it? I'm in the middle of an important discussion and I do not care for interruptions. That neophyte Vinter bid you speak with me? Ha! Neither you nor your friend has the palate to appreciate the subtle qualities of my private stock. I would sooner serve you goo-boo urine than sell you my worst vintage. Be gone from my sight. I take it he said no? Really, in those words? Well, I cannot say I'm surprised. While there's no denying his passion and skill, the wine baron of Limsa Lominsa is not a man known for his tact. Very well, we shall have to take an alternative approach. There is a chance, however small, that another resident of Wineport can furnish us with a suitable wine. In fact, had you come several years ago, I guarantee this would not be a problem. Alas, the quality of our product has declined significantly in recent years. The only breeds cultivated these days are common lowland vines, which isn't to say that their grapes are of poor quality, only that we have known better. Long ago, the vignerons of Wineport crossbred several species and produced a grape-bearing vine of never-before-seen quality. Bacchus grapes were once the pride of this town, as they were used to produce vintages which surpassed all others. This includes the most aromatic, the most complex, the most flavorful of all wines. Aye, the legendary Bacchus wines were born right here in Wineport. Pardon my enthusiasm. You see, I once had the privilege to sample that particular wine. It was an otherworldly experience. In that moment, I felt as though I had tasted the nectar of the gods themselves. I transcended my mortal flesh and was one with all creation. But as it is all too often said, the calamity changed that. The Bacchus vineyards were completely destroyed, along with much of the existing stock of Bacchus wine. What little remains is closely guarded by its owners, for it can no longer be made. If we cannot convince Bergelant to part with his wines, our next best option, as ridiculous as it sounds, is to find someone who has a bottle of Bacchus wine and to offer them every gill we can spare. I've heard rumors that one of the vignerons tending the vineyards might have once owned a bottle. Perhaps you could start by speaking with them. What? Do I have Bacchus wine? I wish. I never had the chance to try it myself. Sorry, friend, but you're a few years too late. Bacchus wine? Bah, don't remind me. Used to have a cellar filled with the stuff. Thought I could keep the wine safe from thieves and the elements. Never counted on a bloody primal blowing up my goddamned house. No luck, Most regrettable, but we had to try. But Bacchus wine would have been perfect for this occasion. Though I must confess my certitude could be due in part to my personal history with the beverage. It is, after all, the very reason I decided to become a vintner. After Titan blinded me in our battle beneath Ogomoro, I fell into a deep depression. It wasn't until I tasted Bacchus wine for the first time that I realized that there was still so much I could experience, even in my condition. It helped me find a new direction in life. It breaks my heart to think that wondrous ambrosia which once filled me with hope may be forever lost to us. I must say, this talk of Bacchus wine has made me rather nostalgic. Indeed, there is much I miss about my life with the company of heroes. After everything the captain has done for me, I could not bear to disappoint him. I have no fear. I swear that I shall find a suitable wine for the banquet, though I may need some time to think of a solution. In the meantime, there is a favor I would ask of you. 2 years ago, in the deepest depths of my despair, I stumbled across Vilbrand as a vagabond drunk. I suspect I was looking for a place to die, because I very nearly found one not far from here. It was there that a man named Drest took me in and nursed me back to health. And it was he who gave me my first taste of Bacchus wine, which helped me to find my new calling. Though I am still a novice in the arts of winemaking, I would like him to know that I am pursuing my dream. This wine is my own original creation, and I would be most grateful if you delivered it to him in my stead. Drest sometimes works at the Raincatcher Gully Docks, so perhaps Ritzkilt can tell you where to find him. Dressed? Oh, you mean the hermit. I toss him a few gil when we need an extra pair of hands. He doesn't talk about himself, and I sure as hells don't ask. When a man's got a face with scars like that, you best leave well enough alone, I say. If you've a mind to find him, though, then head southwest to the Severed String. What do you want? Wine? I didn't ask for this. Who sent you? Can't sleep. They won't let me sleep. The midges, the buzzing, it keeps me awake. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I won't fight. I don't want to fight. Please make the buzzing stop. Make the midges go away. It's not so loud anymore. Did you do that? Thank you. You helped me, even after what my comrades and I did to your country. We were on a reconnaissance mission when the maelstrom caught us by surprise. We tried to escape, but the others, no one else survived. I didn't ask for this, damn it. I'm not even Garlean. They conquered my lands just like they tried to conquer yours. I don't want to die in some blasted jungle halfway around the world. I just want to go home. I wish to thank Shimani for the wine. That was overly kind. Would you be willing to bear a gift back to him? Last night at Red Mantis Falls, I collected the sap from some nearby palm trees. If placed in coconut shells and stored for a few bells' time, it makes for a fine wine, see? It should be ready now. I left 3 shells out there. Please, take them to Shimani for me. I'm glad he's moved on with his life. I hope to one day do the same. It has been some time, Arton. What news do you have of Drest? Ah, yes, I recall he did have some knowledge of winemaking, a simplistic but nevertheless effective method that utilizes the natural properties of palm sap. I shall have to enjoy this batch before it spoils. We are not so different, Drest and I, 2 men who have long struggled not to let our scars define us. I worry that he has been alone with his thoughts for far too long. Aye, it's past time I paid him a visit. Thank you for looking after him, Arton. By By the gods, Arden, listen! I know you're eager to wash your hands of this wine business, but I've just discovered something extraordinary about Drest's wine. He sealed each coconut shell with a leaf which has a very distinct shape and unusual odor. I thought I was going mad at first, but now I'm certain. These are the leaves of a Bacchus grapevine. Do you know what this means? Somewhere in Raincatcher Gully, the legendary vine still grows. If we could obtain a cutting, we could revive the Bacchus wine industry. We must know where Drest found these leaves. Here, take one of them back to him and see what he remembers. Oh, hello again. What is it? It's just a leaf, isn't it? I only chose it because it was pretty. Didn't know it was rare. I found them near the Juggernaut to the south, but I didn't see any grapevines. I saw fresh gubu tracks, though. Maybe the leaves came from vines growing on the back of one such beast? If you go looking for it, please be careful. Some gubus are more territorial than others, and you may have to defend yourself. What did Drest have to say, Arden? Tell me everything. I was right! This smell, this texture. I hold in my hands a Bacchus grapevine cutting. Come now, enough of this nonsense. I've heard talk of your discovery, and I refuse to believe that a common adventurer and a novice vintner could... 12 is my witness. It is a Bacchus grapevine. Wherever did you find this fantastic specimen? What? You would offer this to me? But why? There is none better positioned to reconstruct the Bacchus vineyards than you, Master Birgalent. You have the resources, the knowledge, and the passion to do so. It would be selfish of me to keep this cutting. I never knew you cared so deeply about your craft. Thank you, good sir. I will not squander this gift. In just a few years' time, I swear that every tavern across Eorzea will once again be clamoring for a cask of Wineport's legendary Bacchus wine. Sir, you needn't... Wait, the shape of this bottle, the scent of this label. This couldn't possibly be a 1547 Bacchus? But that's impossible. This vintage has not been seen since years before the calamity. It was the crown jewel of my personal collection. For years I debated opening it, wondering if today or tomorrow would be the ideal time, but now I realize that it was never meant for me. It should be savored by the saviors of Wineport, I say. He has made us an offer we cannot refuse. Master Gageruju will find no finer wine. You have forever changed Wineport, Arden. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. But do not permit me to delay you any longer. Pray, deliver the wine to Captain Whiskat. Well, yes, I would very much like to drink it, but I am a patient man. I have faith that one day I shall have another opportunity to taste perfection. Your prolonged absence was beginning to concern me, so what of the wine I asked you to bring? Is that 7 hells of 1547 Bacchus? Even I know how rare that is. Have to admit, I didn't think you had it in you, but congratulations, Arden. Thanks to you, this will be the most luxurious feast Costa del Sol has seen in years. Considering the lengths you went to, I hope our guests appreciate it. Speaking of which, your associate arrived a short while ago. She appears to be growing somewhat impatient. Perhaps you could tell her that the banquet is about to begin? You have the look of a man who has been to the seventh hell and back. That a guest should be expected to supply the victuals for a banquet held in his own honor, and this while the shadow of Titan looms over us all. It beggars belief. I can only applaud your stoicism. Had I been asked to endure such ignominy, I fear I would have accepted my lot with less grace. Lady Ishtola! Sir Histrov! A thousand pardons for this extreme discourtesy. I was wholly unaware of your true identity, sir. Had I known, I would never have permitted my man to subject you to such unspeakable ordeals. Come now, he must have sensed something was amiss. You didn't seriously think I would send you running the length and breadth of Eorzea for a banquet, did you? Spare him your mockery, Captain. Your intent was unclear to me until this moment, and unlike me, Arton has no knowledge of your traditions. Mayhap you would be so good as to enlighten him. Aye, fair's fair. There's no sense hiding it any longer. We five were chosen by our brothers and sisters, and before the company of heroes disbanded, we each swore a solemn oath. That any who would follow in our footsteps must be weighed and measured, not by their reputation, but by their deeds. Each man would judge these would-be godslayers by his own criteria. If even one found him wanting, he would be rejected without a second thought. But if he proved himself worthy, we swore that we would do our utmost to support his cause. The world has ever been full of brave souls eager to give their lives for a righteous cause, but all too few capable of making a difference with their sacrifice. To send wave after wave of hapless adventurers into the jaws of a foe against whom they have no hope of victory is worse than futile. Titan is not one to be challenged lightly, and we will not be complicit in the deaths of the unworthy. Which is why the five of you deigned to test Arton with such commendable thoroughness. Time well spent, I'm sure. But tell us, Captain, what is the assessment of you and your fellows? He's a brave one, that much is certain. He willingly walked into the midst of danger, despite my repeated warnings that it could cost him his life. His skill is undeniable. He stalked his prey as relentlessly as any child of the sands, and struck with precision when an opportunity presented itself. Too many adventurers these days care only for fortune and glory. Arton, however, is a kind and generous soul. I am certain he has no shortage of loyal allies who will gladly fight at his side. Wily Uplander is talentful plansmaker, tricksy foe for mighty Rockman. I can only concur with my colleagues' assessments. We five of the Company of Heroes hereby judge you a worthy challenger. Cast down the Lord of Crags, Arton Istrov, and write a new chapter in the history of Eorzea. With the formalities out of the way, let the festivities begin. Summon the dancers, pour the wine. Eat, drink, and be merry, my friends, for today we celebrate the birth of a new legend, Arten Histrov, Titan's Bane. Arten Histrov, Titan's Bane! Congratulations, sweetling! Now relax and enjoy the show. It's only just begun. When you face the Lord of Crags, think not of Limsa, Eorzea, or anything beyond his chamber. Think only of the men and women by your side. Fight for them, and they will fight for you. Remember that no great victory was ever achieved alone. Goodly Uplander must be facing mighty Rockman with clever fighty think. Gobby Flock cannot be coming to rescue this time. Ah, Arten, you brave fool. Promise me that when you meet Titan, you'll look him in the eye and tell him Landonell sends his regards. You are a veteran of countless battles, Arten. This is but one more. Trust in your experience, and you will prevail. You are blessed with a fortitude to rival the earth itself. Titan will struggle to break you, I think. You are kind to indulge them, Arten. This banquet is as much for the company as it is for you, whatever they may claim. I do not deny that they mean well, but now is scarcely the time for celebration. Though they have all but pronounced you the victor, the battle with Titan has yet to begin. The hour has come for the good captain to make good on his promise. We must speak with him again. You must be eager to face Titan. As promised, we will show you the way. Travel to Bronze Lake in Upper Lanaska. There you will meet Riol, another man who once served with the company. To ensure that this knowledge does not fall into the wrong hands, he will remain in hiding until you have given the correct signal. Give me your map. You must whistle loudly at the 3 locations I mark. Only then will he appear to meet you at this 4th location. I realize this may seem excessive now, but you will see that it is more than reasonable once you comprehend the risks inherent in our method.